Shalom, giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Alright, double honors to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone, who rule well and worthy to give double honors and peace and salutations to every brother preaching the truth throughout the four corners. Alright, with truth and sincerity and for the love of the gospel. Alright, here's the brother Shamaria with the brother Gabaria.
Shalom.
Alright, kind in the Indiana camp, coming at you with another lesson. And I believe the title to this lesson is going to be as a rebellious house or rebellious people. Alright, because they are 2/3 of Israel are just homeborn slaves. Alright, and without further ado, I'm just gonna get into it. This is second Ezra. Did you read out? Or you look for a scripture?
Go ahead.
This is second Ezra, chapter 4. No, it's chapter 1, verse 4. And the word of the Lord came to me, saying, "Go thy own way and show my people their sinful deeds." All right. What does Isaiah 58:1 say? It says, "Lift up thy voice like a trumpet." All right, and show my people, show the house of Jacob, show my people their sins, spare not. All right, that's what we're doing. It says, "Go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, and they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me, and have offered unto strange gods." Alright, it says, verse 7, "I am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me into wrath, and despised my counsels." Verse 8, it says, Pull thou off then the hair of thine head, and cast all evil upon them, and they have not been, it says, for they have not been obedient to my law. It is a rebellious people. All right, and that's what Israel is. It goes down further in it, but we're going to get precepts to back that up. All right, now this is in the Apocrypha. This is second Ezra chapter 1, verse 7. All right, now you have something?
Okay. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 2.
Let me go to it. Go ahead.
It says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities."
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just going to say, the Lord going to punish us for our iniquities because we are the Lord's children. Yeah, for instance, for an example, I know my brother loves, I know you was finna say it. When you got a child, you only chastise your child. Mm-hmm. You don't chastise everybody else's kids. All right, because why? It's your child. That one child is special to you. All right.
And it's beautiful because you really only see that really within the black community,
Mm-hmm.
Black children. And it's crazy. Even when we were even little, we always just say, "But I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one doing. You didn't catch something so. Mm-hmm. We always try to multiply the blame. We always and Israel always used to do things as we see other people do. That's just something that we always did. That's not. They say that's a children's mind state. All children do which is true. All children do, but majority of children that do it are Israelite children.
Mm-hmm.
We follow things. If something looks good to us, we follow it and we try to do it. That's what majority. That's why we're in a predicament that we're in. We've seen the other nations and seen what they went through, and then we got envious and tried to do what they do, and the Lord was like, "No, I'm not with that."
Yep. Yep. Like I said in second Ezra 1, it said what was that 1-7? It said they offered up to strange gods. The Lord wasn't with that, but yet we seen the heathens and they had these idols and they was decked in gold and they looked all pretty. And our people, they cleaved into those idols instead of cleaving into Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Mm-hmm. And that was our ruin.
Was that in that?
Yeah. You know what, Slocky? Let me start from verse 1 so they can get the gist of because it just says you have it doesn't really mention who the Lord talking to. So that's for them scoffers out there saying like, "Oh, they didn't really say Israel." This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord have spoken against you, O children of who? O children of Israel, against the whole family which I have brought up out of the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known out of all the families of the earth." So that's who, the Lord was referring to.
Yeah.
The children of Israel, man.
That's right.
All right. That's why we are being punished as accordingly, man. Because if the Lord give it, basically, if you're expecting something and when you come back and your child's not doing it, then you're gonna be punished. You're not gonna punish your friends because he didn't tell your friends to do it. He told you to do it. That's why the scripture says in Baruch 4 and 6, he says, "What you were not sent to the other nations for your destruction." Just because we moved the Lord of wrath, man. Matter of fact, when you get a fight with your woman, man. Because I said, "You bitch, I can't stand you, man. You fucking hoe, you slut, And then what? A couple hours pass. You still love her, you still want to be with her, but you just fucking out, man.
He was angry.
He was angry, So if you're angry, you're not gonna just jump to conclusions, So the Lord just put us in the predicament because He was mad at us, man. Go ahead.
This is one of the iniquities the brothers put up at Amos. It says, "I'm gonna punish you for all your iniquities, all right, all your sins." This is one of our sins, man. That one of our main sins that provoked the Lord to wrath, which opened the gateway to a lot of other sins. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26. "As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets." All right, they're going to be ashamed because they're going to be caught. So to speak, they're going to caught with their pants down. All right, caught red-handed. All right, it says, verse 27. It says, "Saying to a stock, Thou art my father, and to a stone, Thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, Arise and save us." What does that remind you of, man? The book of Judges. They literally did the same thing. They go off, worship a stock, say to a stone, say to a piece of wood, "You are my father." A golden calf. Worship the idols of the heathens. And then when they're in distress, all right, when they're in straits, they turn to the Lord. All right, but what does the Lord say? This is verse 28. It says, "But where are thine gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, and they can be in the time of thine trouble. For according to the number of thine cities are thine gods, O Judah." All right, and Israel was a vast land. Judah being, a lot of cities in the land of Judah. It says, according to the number of thine cities are thy gods. So they had a lot of different idols, man. And we the first commandment was, don't provoke the Lord to jealousy. All right.
Well, because I got a precept, I'll be done with that.
That was it to that.
Okay. This is because it specifically said wood and stone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 in verse 19. It says you want to get it?
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 19. It says, "Woe unto him that saith unto wood, Awake, and unto dumb stones, Arise. It shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it."
Like I said, man, our people went off to these idols because they look good, man. They deck it up with gold, with silver, with rubies, with precious stones and precious metals. All right. But it says what? It has no breath. There is no life in the midst of it. All right. And when we go to Jeremiah, it said no breath. And breath is life.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jeremiah chapter 2. And I'm going to start up a little bit, man. This is 13. Jeremiah 2 and 13, it says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters." All right, so those idols, they have no life in them, and the living water is water that's always constantly moving, that has a flow to it, that's lively. It says, "And hew them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water."
Yep. So what's the point? What's the point of this? That's how pointless the Lord is making it, man. Broken cisterns can hold no water, man.
Yep. That's why I said, "As a thief is ashamed when he is found." It says, so is Israel going to be.
Yep.
Israel going to be ashamed in that day when they need somebody to save them, and the Lord ain't there. He's going to say, "Go what? Go cry unto your gods that you have made." Yep. So is the cities of Judah. So is thine gods. Probably close out one more scripture with Deuteronomy 32.
Okay.
This is
the 32 and what's that? 22.
32 and 22.
I think I'm not so sure.
Yep. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. It says, and provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Some more Gentiles, go ahead.
God, it says, for a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn into the Lord, and shall consume the earth with her increase. Her increase, and says, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. The other one I was looking for when it says, just around Wax, Fat, and Kick.
I think it's
I was a little up. It's 15.
15, so okay.
It says, so the Lord did all these good things for us when you read up. But 15 says, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. All right, Jeshurun being a nickname for Israel.
It's a nickname for Israel, yep.
It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Wax fat as it's like substance. You know, that fat it represents substance.
And also pride.
Yeah, pride. Lifting yourself up. And kick, meaning you went against the Lord.
Yep.
As you got puffed up. You vaunted.
Because kick also is like a symbolic of what's it called, rebellion.
Yeah, why you kick me to the curb?
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's kicking, that means they're trying to struggle. You're not just flowing. If I'm trying to put your pamper on and you're kicking, that means you're trying to resist.
Yeah, you're resisting.
You're resisting it. So the Lord is sitting here nourishing us, help us, and what we do, we kicking, trying to fight away from it. The Lord, we're like, what? Come on. You know?
Exactly. It says thou art waxing fat. Thou art grown thick. Art thou covered with the fatness?
Yep.
Then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
Yep, which is Yahweh.
And that's how basically Israel. That's a lot of. That's basically the key point being sacrifice unto stones. You know, forsaking the Lord's counsel, going to these different idols. All right, that's one of the major things of why our people are foolish and why we are a rebellious house, because the Lord told us not to do it. You know.
Yep. And
with that being said, we're going to say Shalom.
Shalom.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to every brother preaching the truth throughout the four corners. All right. Till next time.